What is up everyone and welcome to another kimono video. So for this week's vid, I kind of wanted to look through the top sales stats for graphic novels and single issues in the month of January. I love stats. I'm like a big stats guy. I think it's just like really fun to look at. And I always make a video every month talking about it on, the short form content stuff at the end of every month, and especially like at the end of the year for like 2025, which was really cool. I made the videos longer on there, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a longer YouTube video and really go through it on YouTube. And then I ended up kind of doing that for the short form, and I don't know, long story short, basically I'm kind of like, all right, I think I'm just going to brush up on the top 10 or whatever for the short form stuff, and then every month when these come out, I'll go issue by issue and talk about how we feel about it. And yeah, so we'll go with that anyway though. So I want something to keep in mind, you to keep something in mind while watching, is just like, think about what's on the list and think about like, what did you maybe expect to be on the list, and maybe something you wanted to be on the list because you wanted to perform well. Because when I was looking at these lists for the first time, that's something that I was thinking about myself. So, all right. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right. So we are looking at the graphic novels first. Okay, so for the graphic novels, first up in number one spot, we got the DC Compact Edition of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Now, I'm not super surprised at this, but I was a little bit. Like, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, damn, number one this month? Like, damn. But the Compact, I think, just recently came out, and then which I think it's down here. Where is it at? Right here at 11. The Woman of Tomorrow trade paperback and whatnot has been in the top 10 for graphic novels, like, or top 15 at least, top 20 for sure, like every single month since, I guess, maybe a little bit after Superman the movie dropped. And I'm not super surprised. I think it's really awesome that a bunch of people are like, reading it, a piece of, physical media and whatever before a movie comes out that's based on it. I think that's really cool. If you watch the trailer, there's a few differences. Like, obviously the big one is like Lobo's going to be in it, which Lobo's not in the graphic novel. But anyway, pretty cool to see that. And then, the Compact Edition, of course, being more accessible price-wise, it makes sense. So then we have Absolute Flash Volume 1. I think that's probably one of the bigger releases that came out. Also Martian Manhunter. But that being at 2 was, I think, like a slightly surprising. Like, I expected maybe to see... I guess it makes sense that Flash is a little more popular than Martian Manhunter, but I think maybe the people who really like Martian Manhunter are just a bit louder. So that's cool. We got Absolute Batman Volume 1, The Zoo, which is just like Supergirl, has been on the list every single month since it's come out, like top 10. It's crazy. March Omnibus Edition Volume 1, which I'm not going to lie, when I was doing the video on my short form stuff, I don't even know what this is. I haven't heard about it. Okay, so this looks like, just briefly reading the description, looks like a nonfiction piece. Pretty interesting. Okay, well, that's cool to see, because I would not expect that to make the list of top 20 sales, so pretty cool. Anyway, so that's number 4. Number 5, we got the Compact Edition of Gotham by Gaslight. Looks like a cool series. Haven't read that one myself. Long Halloween, another one that's there like all the time. It's just iconic story, and it's good. So then we got Martian Manhunter at 7. DC Compact Edition of Court of Owls at 8. That I saw Court of Owls maybe a few months ago on this list. It's kind of in and out. Absolute Green Lantern Volume 1 Without Fear. That's cool to see. So I think Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Flash Volume 1 all drop in January. Just like Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman Volume 1, The Last Amazon, is on the list like every time. So regular paperback of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, so literally both in the top 20, which is crazy. Then we got a sort of Crisis Events Volume 1. It's been out for a little bit, at least a few months, but cool to see because it's such a great story. Watchmen, which is just a popular story. Haven't read that one myself, though. Transformers Volume 4, which I can't remember if it came out in January or December, but either way, cool to see that story is really popular. Invincible, Hush, another classic story. Last Dust of Krypton, Kingdom Come, Batman Arkham Asylum at 19, and another Absolute Batman The Zoo, but hardcover for 20, which, by the way, when I say that Batman's there like every month, it's Absolute Batman trade paperback and hardcover. They're both on the list in the top 20 like every month. It's crazy. All right, so with that, let's move on to the single issues. So for number 1, we have the Arc M Special. I'm not gonna lie, I expected Absolute Batman 16, the Wonder Woman crossover, to be at 1, the second part of the crossover. I kind of expected that to be at number 1. But when I was given a little bit of thought, it made more sense to me because it's a special, so it's a bit bigger, and Absolute Batman is probably the most popular comic series right now, like all together. But anyway, I was talking to a couple people, and they're like, they're people who like wait for trade paperback releases, but they have gotten like annual and like Absolute Evil and stuff like that. So that makes sense. You know, if you're someone who consistently waits for trades, or you're waiting for trades on a specific story, but you get the specials that come out for the single issues, I think that's like pretty reasonable and a make sense way to buy, you know? So, you know, you get all sorts of different people who are reading the comic in different ways, picking up this special. So I see it at number 1. Pretty cool though. And then we got Absolute Batman 16 at 2, Batman at 3, DCKO 3 at 4. This is where we first see Marvel in the top 10. And I mean, Marvel doesn't even have a single graphic novel in the top 20 for graphic novels, but in single issues we finally see Marvel at 5, and then they also come in at number 10. They usually take like one spot max, and Image takes another spot for the top 10, which I see, and it's usually Transformers. But yeah, DC's just going crazy lately. Anyway, so Ultimate Endgame though, I'm excited and happy to see that up there because it's really good so far, and it's a cool event. The whole Ultimate Universe is pretty solid. But then we have Absolute Superman 15, which, no, I was thinking of 16. That came out in February, but that was a great issue though. Then we have, I wonder how 16 is going to be. I feel like it might be a bit higher in comparison because it was really good. Absolute Wonder Woman 16, great issue. DCKO Night Fight 3, obviously another great issue. Absolute Batman Annual, this is the second printing. There are some really cool covers. Like there was a Daniel Warren Johnson cover with like a flamethrower on it and stuff. It was really, really sick. That's going to be this one right here. I ended up picking this one up. There's also like a foil variant of it and a foil variant of the original cover, which is like this one right here. Super solid. Anyway, though, we got Amazing Spider-Man 19 to round out the top 10. So then we move on to Absolute Martian Manhunter, Transformers, which is consistently pretty high on this list, Ultimate Wolverine, which I'm not surprised, but lately I've been hearing some more discourse on Ultimate Wolverine. Pretty interesting. Like, people are saying it's not that good. I think it's cool. I think I just read issue 9 recently. I think I got to read 10 because I'm on the app, and Marvel has a 3-month delay if you didn't know. Anyway, I think it's pretty cool, though. I don't think it's the most amazing thing to ever hit the shelves, but it's cool, or hit the phones. Iron Man 1, I low-key expected this to be a bit higher because there was a lot of hype behind it. That it went to a second printing immediately, and it was good. And I don't even like Iron Man like that, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I added it to my pull after that. So, yeah. Little surprised, but maybe people didn't expect it to sell that well, like, you know, retailers and stuff. So they did sell out, but they didn't pre-order that much. So the printings were only at a certain level. Maybe if they anticipated that and ordered a lot more, it would have been higher on the list. So that's my theory with that. We'll see how Iron Man 2 does, or also a second printing of Iron Man 1. I'd be curious to see. So then we have Psylocke Ninja at number 15, which I was a little surprised because I was thinking about all the people's like reviews of it, and a lot of people just straight up did not like it for a number of reasons. And I think that it makes sense that it's where it is because a lot of people are hyped for it. So now I'm thinking like, okay, issue 2 is probably not going to be up there. Like me, for example, I didn't pick it up because I was like, this will be one that maybe I'll just pick up if it's good later, like, you know, but for now I think I'll pass. I'll, you know, got a bunch of other stuff to pick up that week. But then now I'm not going to get it, I don't think, because a lot of people didn't like it. Maybe down the line I'll end up giving it a read online or something, but, you know, I'm not going to right now. So I think there's probably a lot of other people that feel the same way. So I don't expect number 2 to sell as well. Then we got Uncanny X-Men 22, which is a popular series. A lot of people have been recommending that I read that one. Amazing Spider-Man 20, which is pretty cool. I see 19 and 20 there. Interesting to see the more new release further down. Anyway, Null 1, which another one I was a little surprised to see that low, but DC just, when you got all these crazy popular events and absolute titles up top and mainline Batman, like, it makes sense that it can only crack the top 20. Anyway, yeah, because, you know, big release. So Ultimates 20, X-Men 23, Absolute Green Lantern 10, Captain America 6. People say really good things about this. I'm reading it on the app, and I do think it's pretty solid. It's on issue 3, Chip Zdarsky. Rogue One, I really liked Rogue. I thought it was very solid. That's the one that I kind of picked up over Psylocke. Second printing, I believe it's the second, maybe the third of the crossover. Absolute Flash 11, X-Men 24, Fantastic Four number 7, which not that many people are reading it but from those that I have seen that are reading it, I see positive things. Dungeons of Doom was pretty cool. I expected it to be a little higher because of everything with One World Under Doom and all that stuff, but maybe that whole I don't know. I don't know if I want to call it an event, but maybe that whole thing just isn't as popular as I thought it was. Absolute Wonder Woman 15 on the list a couple times. Absolute Wonder Woman is Logan, Black, White, and Blood #1, GI Joe 17, Wolverine 14, Galactic Slam, which is a DC KO tie-in, Superman 34, another tie-in, Black Cat 6. I think this one has slowly fallen off. It was really popular in the beginning. I've heard less and less people talking about it, so it's kind of falling off. I think the people who do like it speak very highly of it, but I think it's starting to fall off for a lot of people. Ultimate X-Men 23, Justice League Unlimited 15, Exquisite Corpses 9. Man, that series is so good. I was a little behind by a few issues, and I was just kind of reading it a bunch yesterday and today, and I finished it up and caught up today. Man, that is so good. Such a great series, and I can't wait for the movie. Punisher Red Band #5, Absolute Batman #1, current printing, which is the 10th printing, and if you haven't heard the news, they're reprinting like 50 Absolute title issues, like just a ton. Really good opportunity to complete your collection if you're into that, which I am, so I'm buying a good amount. Anyway, that's going to be the 11th printing. This is 10. Insane. Avengers 34, the Amazing Spider-Man Annual 1, which I completely forgot about, actually. I'm not reading Amazing Spider-Man, though. I think I got to give it a shot. I am reading Ultimate Spider-Man, though, which just came out a few days ago. Ultimate Spider-Man 24 got delayed. Should have came out in December. That's fantastic, though. Love that series. Anyway, Batman Green Arrow Arcadia, The Question Arcadia 2. I was surprised to see this in the top 50. I didn't know how popular it was. It does have Batman, so makes sense it'll sell well. I do think it's pretty cool. Don't think it's amazing, but I'm enjoying it, and it's got a cool vibe. Inglorious X-Force 1, I think it's Shadows of Tomorrow drop. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, All Fight Special, this was cool. Infernal Hulk 3, Nightwing 134, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Red of Spring 5, and Gunslinger Spawn 50. So, pretty good list. So I'll raise the question one more time, just like, is there anything that you expected to be on the list, that you wanted to be on the list, anything like that? Because, so for me personally, I kind of have one from DC, one from Marvel. For DC, I was hoping to see Harley and Ivy Life and Crimes on the list, because Erica Henderson, the writer, artist, all that stuff, she's doing everything, which is crazy. But anyway, she said that she has more storyboarded, but it's slated for a 6-issue limited series, but if it sells really well, we can extend it. So I've really been hoping to see it on the list, because I want them to extend it, obviously, but, it just hasn't appeared. Like, any of the issues just haven't, so it's a little unfortunate. I think issue 1 might have cracked the top 50, but the rest haven't, so I think we might be heading towards just a 6-issue limited series, which I'm very grateful for the series in general, but, it's too bad. I was hoping for more, but who knows? This is a sample size, so maybe it's the wrong sample, but we'll see. Anyway, that was my first thing that was, too bad, and then the other one was, a little bit more surprise than, really wanting it to be necessarily. Obviously, they go hand in hand. But either way, Sorcerer Supreme for Marvel, because, again, with the whole event, kind of ties into, Dungeons of Doom, where the whole event with, him not being Sorcerer Supreme anymore and Wanda's taking over. So I'm like, I thought this would have been, maybe a little bit more popular, But it ended up not being on the list at all. So, a little bit of a surprise there. Those are the two main ones for me. I'm not so worried about Sorcerer Supreme. It has big implications, obviously with the mainline MCU stuff. So I don't think it's going anywhere, and from the people do like it from what I've heard. I mean, same thing with Harley and Ivy Life and Crimes, but Sorcerer Supreme isn't slated to be a miniseries as far as I'm aware. So yeah. Anyway, that's that for this week's video, the stats and all that stuff. I love going over that stuff. So again, let me know any thoughts you might have, anything in general. Always appreciate it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.